David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. Let me make sure this video, that should be better. David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde for the third time, and we'll do this video. So, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share the videos, and give it a hype if it's got hype available there. So Anthony Yarde has fought, we've been told before, he only a few amateur bouts. Same old script. He's fought two world champions and got beat. He got knocked out in two world title fights. Yeah, he gave a good account of himself. He still got knocked out. The thing is, I think, my personal opinion, Anthony Yarde, if he had been managed, I mean, financially, I always say financially, I'm sure Yarde has been managed fantastically, right? But strategically and logically, Anthony Yarde is a wasted talent, in my opinion, right? And I hope tomorrow night that he can prove me wrong. But he's a wasted talent. He's a guy that's got the looks, he's got the charisma, he can fight a bit, but the style he's got has been the reason why he's lost those two fights. Technically, not great. Those are the reasons why he's technically not great. One, two, his stamina's failed him, and three, his output punches isn't enough at the highest level. So the one shots he may hit people with and stun them at a low level and get them out of there, he's so used to doing that, and he hasn't had the in-between fights where he's been tested to the point where he has to put out a lot more punches. And like, for example, there's a guy fought Ralph Wilkes. That's the fight I'm going to use as the example as to why I think Yarde could be in big trouble in his fight against David Benavidez. I said when Yarde fought Kovalev, the tactic for Yarde would be to jump on Kovalev. They didn't get the tactics correctly. I said if you allow Kovalev to get behind the jab, you've lost this fight. We saw what happened. You don't let a person who's got more experience get comfortable using their experience. The whole point, they've got that experience, they've learned. You've got to knock them out of the rhythm. If you haven't got the experience, you've got to give them experience they haven't had. So Yarde, with his physicality, should have jumped on Kovalev and started throwing bombs from round one. It's no use emptying the tank in round 8. Should have gone for it from round 1. Then you fought Beterbiev. Did Yarde improve from the Kovalev fight to the Beterbiev fight or Beterbiev fight? No, he didn't. He still had that same style. He still backed himself up against the ropes using a shoulder roll that doesn't catch punches but allows him to get punched up against the ropes. And then when he's in the middle of the ring, he's got guys who can out-jab him, out-box him, and out-maneuver him. And ultimately end up him getting knocked out. That's the brutal truth of it all, right? Having a good account, going 7-8 rounds and having a good account of yourself is fine. But ultimately you've been knocked out. And too much for Anthony Yarde. He's celebrated for being a guy who wants to fight everybody and gets knocked at the highest level. When you get knocked at the highest level, consecutive like that, and then you see the guys he fights in between, the level of opposition he fights on a regular basis, and it's like me playing for I don't know, a Sunday league football team. Yeah, I'm playing a Sunday league football team, and then all of a sudden, right, because of the fact that I score some goals at Sunday league level, you put me up and I'm playing in the Champions League final. You expect me to score goals in the Champions League final. It doesn't work that way. You have to earn and graduate, and you go through the levels: British, Commonwealth, European, world level. And I can assure you, if Anthony Yarde had gone that route, he would. I don't think he would be earning the sort of money he's making now. I don't think he would have got. He would have got found out a lot sooner, in my opinion. I think, but in that sense, they've managed him beautifully to fight guys that won't threaten him, to when he gets beat by the very best. So it makes it look like, oh, Yarde only gets beat by the very best. But the gentleman called Ralph Wilkes, I suggest you go back and watch the fight with Yarde versus Ralph Wilkes. He doesn't fight like Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon Arthur in the first fight gave Yarde problems with the jab. And even in the third fight they fought, he didn't look great against. I mean, Yarde doesn't look great in a few fights now, okay? And I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just looking at things as they need to be looked at. And had they been looked at this way when he got beat by Kovalev, I think Yarde would have been a better fighter. I don't think Anthony Yarde has improved. I don't think Anthony Yarde has progressed. And for him to beat Benavidez, he's going to have to do one thing and one thing effectively very well, is to punch with Benavidez and punch through Benavidez. And this is what I said Callum Smith has to do. To beat Benavidez, when he's throwing punches, you've got to throw it. He's got a good straight right hand, Yarde. He's either got to throw that right hand over the top of Benavidez' jab, right? We're going to get closer. And when Benavidez is throwing his jab, throw down the middle, throw straight punches. He doesn't catch Benavidez with hooks. He's going to hit Benavidez down the middle. So when it's like when Hopkins fought Trinidad. That's a good fight. Hopkins punched in between Trinidad's punches and ultimately knocked Trinidad out. But Yarde is going to have a fight at a pace he's never fought at with Benavidez. Guys like Beterbiev and Kovalev, for all intended purposes, walk like they're in quicksand compared to Benavidez, the sort of work rate he's going to put up, the sort of 5-6 punches he's going to put together. I want you to go back to that Ralph Wilkes fight, yeah? And you look at Yarde fighting Ralph Wilkes. If he stands with his back against the ropes against Ralph, like he did against Ralph Wilkes with Benavidez in there, he'll get knocked out inside 5 rounds. I'm telling you now, Yarde will get knocked out within 5 rounds because he'll back himself up against the ropes. And as he backs up against the ropes, against someone like Benavidez, who puts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 punches together, he may stun Yarde with one shot and hit him with another 3, and those are the punches that knock him out. It's not the one punch I'm concerned about. It's the combination of punches that Benavidez will hit Yarde with his hands low. And if he does it when Yarde is tired, when he looked against, he fought against Wilkes, that fight right there is the fight, Ralph Wilkes. That fight right there is the fight that concerns me about Yarde, because it's going to be that. Think about Ralph Wilkes and then think about Benavidez throwing them punches. So Yarde has to overcome the challenge with the jab. He's going to have to overcome that challenge, the jab, and the length of where the jab's coming from. And it's going to be an educated jab, probably a much more educated jab than Lyndon Arthur. I think Lyndon Arthur's got a good jab, but I think Benavidez' jab is getting more effective. And Benavidez' punches, where he puts them together, and the speed and the work rate and the constantly having a jab in Yarde's face, and Yarde not be able to set punches up, because he tries to set punches up, he's going to get hit. So he's literally going to have to be stubborn, and because he hasn't got the skill set to match Benavidez, he's going to have to do it on pure bloody mindedness and just being mentally strong and being tough and trying to walk through. He's going to have to try and walk through Benavidez' punches. Benavidez already knows, if I put a jab on this guy, he's fundamentally flawed. If I put a jab on this guy, and then when he tucks up, I can hit him with 4 or 5 punches, he's not going to respond. That's it. And who's Yarde been sparring with to prepare for this fight? Who are the guys he's been sparring with? I genuinely hope that Yarde has made the improvements from because I don't see no improvements. I don't see how Yarde has not improved since he fought Kovalev, in my opinion. He hasn't. He's still got that style, which is going to be stuck with him for life now. And the style he's got, is it world class? Is it world class? Is it just Yarde's physical strength and his bloody mindedness and his will to win that's got him through the fights through a flawed technique? Because, okay, if he's meant to have a defense, then show me where that defense is. In the Ralph Wilkes fight, show me the defense. In the Kovalev fight, show me the defense. In the Beterbiev fight, show me the defense. When he's backing up against, he's getting caught getting punched up in the corner. Boxing is about percentages. Hit and not get hit. Go and look at the Ralph Wilkes fight. There's one point where Ralph hits Yarde with 5-6 punches. Unanswered. And if you're doing it against Ralph Wilkes, imagine Benavidez catching them shots. And Ralph Wilkes is no Benavidez. I'm sorry. And that is the brutal truth. So it's alright saying, yeah, you know, he's fought against the top guys. He's been knocked out by the top guys. And I've never seen a fighter being celebrated so much for getting knocked out. He's been knocked out against the top guys. That's what it is. Knocked out. And we celebrate Yarde for that. Yeah, and if you look at the fights he gets knocked out and how he gets knocked out in, look at the blueprints how he gets knocked out. He has his moments in the fight. Starts to get tired, hands start to drop. The punches start to stand landing more. Exhaustion, knocked out. You look at the two fights, the Kovalev fight, the Beterbiev fight, both of those fights, I think was down to exhaustion as much as anything. So if he's getting exhausted against Kovalev and Beterbiev, what's he going to be like against someone like Benavidez? So what is the game plan? The only game plan, as I said before, is to walk Benavidez down, and for me, the best thing Yarde can do is jump out first round and jump on Benavidez. If he tries to box Benavidez, he can forget it, because fundamentally he's not a better boxer than Benavidez. He's not got a better jab than Benavidez. He's not got a better right hand than Benavidez. He doesn't put punches together as good as Benavidez. He hasn't got as good work rate as Benavidez. He hasn't got as good stamina as Benavidez. Has he got a better chin than Benavidez? Well, Benavidez has been in with some big punches and better boxers than Yarde. And Yarde's punching power, well, again, questionable. So, is he a world-class puncher? I don't know. Who's he knocked out that's world-class? Questions you could ask yourself. As with Benavidez, the things I'm concerned about with him is the David Morrell fight. If you look at the David Morrell fight, he was in the middle of throwing a combination, I believe, against David Morrell, and Morrell buckled his knees. And he hurt Benavidez, right? But Benavidez got up and won the fight. But it's those situations right there. And he was knocked down earlier in his career, Benavidez, by a guy that was not noticed as a big puncher. But maybe at 175 pounds he might be a bit more durable. But Yarde has to be the first punch and the last to punch. He's got to end the punch. He's got to end the punch sequence and begin the punch sequence. You can't allow Benavidez to get settled behind a jab and put punch combination together, because if he does, there's problems. If he does, there's problems. And I said the fight could end early. Because if he puts himself against, he puts his back up against some ropes and Benavidez start putting 4 or 5 punches together, the fight could be over. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Yarde's got a tough fight ahead of him. Like I said, if he's going to win the fight, he's going to punch in between Benavidez punches. As for Benavidez, box, 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 box. When Yarde's back is against ropes, let them shots go. Dictate, use the jab. Keep the jab in Yarde's face. And then put your punches behind that. Those are the thoughts I have. I'm not going to make any prediction for this fight. I expect Benavidez to win. But it's only if he gets lazy and Yarde is able to close that gap and punch on the inside. I don't know how much sparring Yarde's done for this fight. I don't know who he's been sparring with. I don't know. The other thing I'm going to say now on record, I don't like to see kids around fighters in preparation of fights. We've seen Eubank Jr. with a child. We saw Joseph Parker with family. I don't like it. There's a place for kids, and the place for kids are not at boxing events, when you're doing weigh-ins and in the gym. There's a place for children. That is not the place for them. If you want to inspire your kid and do it stuff, just do that fine, but don't do it around camp fight camp. I think personally, fighters should be banned from having their children at professional events like that. At weigh-ins, children should not be allowed to be around them. In the gym, children should not be around to. Listen, they should be banned. This is brutal. You're paid to be a gladiator, right? We understand you're a father. We understand you've got parental responsibility and all that stuff, but this is what you're getting paid to do, right? So you're a gladiator first. Just you're paying, you'll earn your money and your bread to provide for your kids. And if you can't do your job properly because you've got family involved or kids involved, like while you're training, and it's affecting you for performing to be a world-class fighter, then you're robbing the fans of a great performance. So, you know what I mean? I don't like to see it, and I've seen it with Benavidez now, and I don't like to see it. I hope Benavidez is locked in. I hope he's locked on, because he's a good, very good fighter. And I don't want to hear any excuses afterwards. Oh, I wasn't focused in camp. Oh, I don't want to hear it. I'm sick and tired of it. It's twice now. Eubank, Parker, and now Benavidez. Don't like seeing kids in camp. Sorry. And I'm a kid person that loves and works with young people. I love young people. But no. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This has been BWTM Sports Gaming, and I'm out. Thanks for watching.